Is the Mourngul Haunter any good? Let's just get this out of the way. Yes, oh goodness, yes. We're just going over how good. And it's pretty good. Please like, subscribe, comment, and consider donating plundered spoils to my Ko-Fi hidden cove. I need all the support, but all support is a treasure in itself. Dragged straight from the depths, a single Mourngul Haunter takes 1300 gold to recruit for 325 upkeep per turn. At least that's what I'm deciding this stat card means. It looks slightly confused. Anyway, it's not a cheap hero, but it has no mount options, so it never gets more expensive later. Health is 6,568 by default, and this is a large entity with all the attendant issues. Armor is 40 default, with the same 30% missile resistance as the Mourngul unit gets. Leadership is 60, which is pretty strong for an undead force, and speed is 54, which is shockingly high for the Vampire Coast as a faction. I mean, it's just plain not bad. Charge speed, though, is 86, and this unit is known to just charge into an approaching unit just because, even standing still, instantly closing the gap. Melee attack is 48 default, and without any skills, inflicts the Frostbite debuff for minus 30% speed. Attack interval is 3, as in a flat 3, as in better than Scarbrand, but not quite the insane level of a Vargulf. Splash size is medium, with a maximum of 6 targets damaged, meaning it is a fairly decent anti-blob unit. Melee defense is 38, not terrible. Speaking of infantry, weapon strength is listed as 420 default, with 140 base damage and 280 armor piercing, with a bonus versus infantry of 25. 25 is pretty high. That means at rank 1, not charging, the Haunter has a melee attack of 73 against line infantry and foot lords and heroes. Charge bonus is 40, which is okay, but not spectacular. Mass is 2000, so this is a big sucker. This unit counts as a siege attacker and has Strider, Vanguard deployment, and Stalk, inflicting both fear and terror, and having the hunger to gain back some of its health in a prolonged melee. So this unit, by itself, can be used as an artillery backstabber or leader of a Mourngul goon squad to the same effect. Also, it has the Chilling Hex, which reduces speed by 30% in a radius, something that Silostra's legendary hero has to unlock manually, but could do so as soon as rank 2, so it's not a huge freebie. Remember, this is at starting rank, practically naked, and it already has all that. There's a reason the upkeep is set to what it is. In the skill line, the generics are of course Mentor and Auto Immortality at rank 20, but Tenacity adds plus 8% health, and Haunter of the Dark adds 15% missile resistance. Which is worth mentioning because HP starts high, and that would make missile resistance 45% for a unit that has Stalk to begin with. Nothing in this roster has a shield. Nothing. But 45% missile resistance is pretty strong. The in-army agent action is Scavenge, which has the simple, straightforward effect of getting you extra money as post-battle loot, for a maximum of 15% higher than the default at 3 pips. Its passive is Spread Corruption, up to plus 3 Vampiric Corruption in its current province per end turn. Against settlements, it does damage building, and I don't think this is very useful in Warhammer 3 in its current state. Assassinate is its anti-hero action, and that is definitely useful. Its anti-army ability is Hinder Replenishment. Finally, you get the standard specialist to reduce agent action cost. But let's back up a moment. Why is Hinder Replenishment a big deal? That's because you are vampires. Enemies will take attrition in your territory if not vampire, and with a right, even rival vampires will. And if the corruption's high enough, they'll take it in their own territory if in the field and not in a camp or raiding stance. But even if, let's say, an enemy force took over one of your settlements and took damage, Hinder Replenishment will heavily impede the enemy from getting back lots of troops over the end turn, something the AI was counting on. This can, if used correctly, greatly weaken your enemies before the fight, making your job easier. For the special personal skills, there are 4, all interesting. The Killing Cold enables magical attacks, kinda worthless in a Silastra army, but very valuable otherwise with all the demons in this game, and adds plus 6 to melee defense. Insatiable Hunger adds a flat plus 10 bonus versus infantry, but remember, you started with 25, now it's 35. Materialize adds a further plus 8% hit points and plus 12% weapon strength with 1 pip. Evanesce has 10% flat physical resistance, so if you're not facing Sisters of Avalon, you might just have an effective 55% missile resistance, which is amazing. Finally, we have the melee tree available, and it's a robust one. Monkey Jacket is how they all start, granting plus 5% ward save. That is, on top of physical resistance and missile resistance, you just now resist 5% of all damage for free. It's just 5%, but still. Ravenous Attack offers up to plus 10 melee attack and plus 5% missile resistance, which makes the resistance even better. Master Strike adds up to plus 20% weapon strength with 3 pips. Remember, that's tilted toward armor piercing. Scarred Veteran adds up to another plus 15% hit points. This is getting silly, right? It's silly, and it's good. Hard to Hit offers a maximum of plus 12 melee defense. The midway point is the standard Foe Seeker, adding 25% more speed to the hero. Devourer of All adds another plus 20% weapon strength with 3 pips. Carnophage adds another plus 12 melee defense with 3 pips. Devastating Charge adds up to 30 charge bonus, so 40 becomes 70. Wild-Eyed adds up to another plus 9 melee attack. Finally, Deadly Onslaught adds its usual plus 25% to base and armor-piercing damage, and plus 60% to charge bonus while active, so you could have an effective charge bonus of 105 with it. How's that? How is that for a monstrous melee hero? Impressed? That is the power of the Mourngul Haunter. As for how you use one, there's not a whole lot more to tell. They're so potentially powerful, but not literally invulnerable, that you can use them as special forces sneaking around, or force one into a protect the gun line role and just draw lots of attacks to it. Moreover, you can send one to quite literally mano a maso and target entire high-end infantry units solo, and it'll probably be fine. Often even if it's an anti-large unit. Of course, ideally it's not an anti-large unit, but still, that melee attack is so high that even elite spearmen will struggle not to get pummeled. Of course, they'll hit back, but yeah. Point being, you can be very unforgiving and still get away with a lot. Just not everything. Early Haunters are a bit vulnerable compared. Late game ones are disgustingly predatory. And the only real way to diminish their power is to not bring anything on foot. The thing is, they can become pretty high attack and always have high armor piercing, and get shockingly high weapon damage. An item or two, and you're golden. So they'll even be effective against large monsters and cavalry up to a certain point. It's just, they're even better against infantry threat. Take care, and have fun haunting your foes' darkest dreams. 'Cause these guys are scary.